Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Bullish Bears Dan. I will be streaming for your visual and audio pleasure. We are going to take a look at some stocks with news and some good setups today. Roku is a fan favorite. GM, EM Trader. Wow, we got some old school guys back in the trade room today. Very nice to see. Little reunion in the Bullish Bears trade room. So today on my radar, I got a couple things. Roku has news with Walmart. Looks like they struck some kind of a deal for a soundbar, subwoofer, and that is bullish for the stock. So you get a little bit of a angular breakout. So the big deal on Roku is that obviously there is a downtrend in place, and what everyone is looking for on Roku is a reversal at some point, right? There's got to be some type of short squeeze, and there's always a bounce. Even if this downtrend continues, there'll be a tradable bounce. And I like to look at the hourly charts to try to find good setups for long plays, whether they're short-term day trades or a swing trade. And right now we got a pretty clear angular hourly resistance on Roku. It still hasn't quite truly broken above. Yeah, there's some prints above there, but if you just go back and look at kind of the trend here, and you can adjust these trend lines a little bit. They're not perfect. If you want perfect trend lines, then ideally you're using a computer to draw them for you, like TrendSpider, which I've showed you guys a lot on the streams before. What we want to see here, ideally, right, is a bull flag, bull pennant, something at resistance, and some follow through. But we need the overall market to really kind of be the wind beneath our wings, so to speak. And if you take a look at really what's been happening with tech futures, NQ, we are kind of range trading after Friday's awesome move up, really awesome move. We're still up near the momentum moving averages, perfect for a breakout higher when we look at the hourly chart of NQ. We see a nice hourly bull pennant, and we've got a trend line magnet. I call these magnet trend lines because this is where price, if we have some bullish momentum, this is where I expect price to go on a daily basis. I don't know when it's going to hit this trend line, but as long as, the push continues, we keep getting flags and pennants to trade, this is where I would look to take profit. Ideally, I'm getting an entry somewhere in a pennant, buying before the breakout, and then holding till I hit my profit target, selling along the way, and capping some gains. So we'll be looking at what futures is doing along with what's Roku doing, and hopefully there's a trade there. Another good setup that I like is AMD. So AMD had a falling wedge. The hourly has already started to squeeze out of it. And although a lot of the indicators I've been looking at are pointing to maybe more weekly downturn on AMD, there's still a really good green doji off of a angular support or a potential new angular support forming here, and I see a play maybe up to 31, maybe 31.15 on AMD this week. So I'm leaning bullish based on the price action. Again, need the market to cooperate for us to want to take this trade. We really got to take a look at futures and SPY and TVIX, which leads me over to TVIX. TVIX is right now in a short-term downtrend. I've got some GAN fans on here. I've got a major angular support right here. I'm kind of highlighting with my mouse. I expect that this will probably get tested a few more times before we break out of this triangle. Whether it's to the downside or the upside. 1350 is a major major pivot point for me. So if I see TVIX start to drop below 1350 and stay down, then I would expect a longer downtrend on TVIX. But I do occasionally day trade TVIX when I see really good setups off of a major hourly support or a major daily support. Right now, it's still kind of in this bearish zone for me. For me to really get excited about this, I need to see some good price action up, maybe getting above the 200 SMA in the 5-minute. There might be a move up to 15 this week, maybe even 1550. I don't think I mean, unless there's some event to take us higher than that. Right now I see a little mini downtrend on this, so that's good. So that's TVIX. Let's take a look at the gap scan. So today I sorted the gapping stocks for myself. Again, we share our trade idea scanner with you guys, so you guys can log in and take a look at this if you would like as well. I sorted by volume today. I wanted to see the top volume stocks. We got TVIX and PFNX that I'd like to look at next. So PFNX had news. It's been selling off since the news, but there was a decent amount of volume on the announcement of news, which was, let's see, my computer's lagging a tad. So FDA approval. So those are good. Osteoporosis, FDA approvals usually get the biotech traders excited. I've got a retracement set up here. This is a major level for me, 788 on this one. If we see it pull back to there, I'd be looking to play a bounce play off of 788. Right now, obviously selling off. We don't know how long this is going to sell off. This could sell off into the bell. This could drop at the bell. I have no idea what this is going to do based on this chart. I would prefer, I'm getting a buy somewhere in this zone before going long. It's not a super low float, which is nice. So this actually has 31 million float, which makes it a little less volatile. I do like that. And as long as it's got a tight bid-ask spread and I see a good pullback to angular support, I will look to potentially take a trade off of this trend line. That's really the only place that I have a trade planned. If something else happens, I don't know. I mean, right now I don't see a bull pattern for me to trade, so I can't really give a good analysis on it. All I can say is where I would like for it to pull back to, and if that happens, it's kind of like if A happens, I'll do B type thing, and that's really trading in a nutshell. You kind of have a trading plan. It might not happen. It might actually still go up, and your trading plan might have said, well, I'm going to buy here. Let's say it just doesn't go here, and it just, bull flags, and I'm not prepared to trade in another type of setup. Oh well, I'll sit and I'll wait for one of my other 3 or 4 setups to produce, and then I'll trade those, and then at least I'm trading my plan and not just gunslinging because I see a stock going up, which is something that we want to try to avoid new traders doing, especially new traders. When settling in and getting disciplined is so important to really just trade loose and not have a good trading plan and just kind of throwing it up in the air. Not smart. It's a good way to blow up your account and kind of really yo-yo. So we want to avoid that at all costs. In teaching you guys, it's just way too dangerous. So we try to give you guys best practices over here. That's what we're all about. So we got let's see, what else can I take a look at? I was very interested in Tesla last week. I covered this a little bit on the stream when we had the flush. I was looking for it to test close to this 222. It came very close, which is typical. People want to start getting out of the trade as it approaches the major support. You don't want to be the last one out of a short position. That's where you get back a lot of profits. So you'll see people profit taking near these major support levels. and rightfully so. They don't want to race. They want to be out first. I do like the angular support that has been kind of built up. This is very sloppy here. This is very sloppy drawing here. Let me give it a little bit better on this hourly. So we see where price action changes. Even if it takes time, this is kind of where it began. You can see where price started to lift off. 200 SMA up above. You know, I look for price to get back above this and kind of oscillate around this 200 SMA on an hourly once we've had some kind of pullbacks to angular support. I actually think we can, just based on the price action, go back and give this a little bit more, because you can see right here the way price bounced very hard. So, you know, looking at this zone, 227, anywhere off of there, if I see some really hot volume, I might look to day trade some options or potentially swing trade some options off of Tesla this week. So that is another one I'm watching. Netflix weekly, I mean the weekly chart, terrible. Again, looking for reversals on these stocks. It really depends on what the market's going to do, but we had our first green week with Netflix. We've got earnings coming up in 7 days. There's a potential squeeze to the 90 MA weekly. That's not a bad trade to get any type of price action up to that 288, 289 level would be stellar, and that would be a perfect short squeeze, retesting the angular support that we dropped, which is this one right here, roughly at that same area where that moving averages is. So if I delete this, just to show you what trend line I am talking about, it is this one right up here. So cool, guys. I am going to collect myself. I'm going to turn off YouTube because we're streaming on YouTube again. Our channel's been kind of quiet, but we're going to have members of the team kind of streaming for at least 10-15 minutes in the morning on YouTube, because YouTube needs love too. We can't just keep it all to ourselves. We got to share the wealth, share the love. Good luck to you guys out in YouTube land this morning. Please trade safe, trade responsibly. Please follow our Instagram for really good analysis. I'm doing a lot of analysis on Instagram, both our posts and stories, and comic relief if you need a good laugh during the day. There's always a funny story going on, so I recommend. Laughter is good for your health, exercise, eating right, and just trading responsibly. So we'll see you guys later on YouTube. Adios.